Hello everyone, this is Yvonne from Yvonne Ceramics. Today is day 15 of my ceramic residency in Arita, Japan. This morning, the residency intern took us on a special field trip around Arita. Our first stop was the historic Izumiyama Quarry. This was the site where Lee Sam Pyeong first discovered kaolin clay, marking the birthplace of Japanese porcelain. Kaolin is the rock that used to make porcelain, and they started mining this material in the early 17th century. The quarry is no longer active, but it still carries an air of quiet significance. I noticed so many small charming details in this area, such as the ground was embedded with tiny shards of porcelain, almost like hidden jewels on the ground. A beautifully decorated manhole cover featuring the quarry and a Gundam robot. And at the entrance, a wall built from old kiln bricks once used by the local studios. I couldn't resist running my fingers over their rough, weathered surface. Then following a narrow path led us to a small hidden shrine up the mountain that is dedicated to Lee Sam Pyeong. It's a little rundown, but the peaceful surrounding in the mountain and forest made it feel like a tucked away sanctuary. From there we drove to our next spot to see the giant ginkgo tree, an ancient beauty estimated to be 1,000 years old and standing around 40 meters tall. In the summer, the leaves are a deep green color, but I can only imagine how breathtaking it must be in the autumn when they turn a beautiful golden color. It was challenging to capture the height and the magnificence of this tree. The locals were very friendly and they gave us a brochure about Arita. You really have to be there to experience it. Nearby was the Tombai Wall Alley, a pathway lined with walls made from old kiln bricks salvaged from the old climbing kiln. Walking alongside them, I was struck by the crystal clear water in the creek and the complete absence of litter, which was often a stark contrast to what I see in Canada. Next, we headed to the Tozan Shrine. There was a long flight of stairs before you get to the top of the shrine, but each step was worth it. The staircase was lined with porcelain lampposts in the signature white and blue underglaze style. Halfway up, a train passed by, and for a moment, it felt just like something out of a movie. I'll never forget small moments like these. At the top, I finally saw the famous porcelain Torii gate, the only one of its kind in all of Japan. The shrine itself was decorated with porcelain pillars crafted by local artists. The surface was filled with floral designs, dragons, and lions. You can see part of the Arita town from up here. If you love ceramics as much as I do, this is an absolute must visit when you're in Arita. The intricate details on the porcelain pillars and the Torii gate were simply breathtaking. In a world dominated by simplicity and machine-made things, it is rare to encounter such hand-painted craftsmanship. Every surface here reflects generations of experimentation, dedication, and mastery. A side path took us to even higher ground where we came across another monument dedicated to Lee Sam Pyeong. From this point, we could see a mix of traditional kilns scattered across the town, framed by the lush green forests that surround the mountainsides. There's a certain magic to this place, and in just a short time, I've completely fallen in love with both the town and its people. After a morning filled with adventure, I spent my afternoon in the studio, loading bisque pieces into the kiln and admiring my freshly glazed works. The glaze kiln fires once a week, so these are works from last week. I'm so glad everything turned out great and they survived the kiln firing. I also had some time for underglaze painting in the studio. On my wheel-thrown bowl, I first sketched my design in pencil after the bisque firing, lightly outlining the shapes so they would guide my brush. Then I prepared my Gosu blue underglaze for the bunnies and a soft purple underglaze for the heart between them. Painting with Gosu is a careful process. I dipped my brush into the pigment, making sure the bristles soaked up just enough color, and then gently drag the paint drip along the surface, leaving it spread evenly to fill the shape. As a beginner, my brushstroke was still visible in the color, giving the piece a textured handmade feel. However, a seasoned ceramicist would be able to achieve a perfectly smooth surface, leaving no trace of the brush at all. I can't wait to see how this little bowl turns out after firing, how the color darkens and the glaze smooths the surface and the bunnies come to life in glossy blue. This is what the bowl looks like after painting. I would put this aside with the rest of my items and do a clear glossy glaze another day. And that was my day 15. See you in the next video. Bye bye.